I'm Dan Gadara. I'm a dentist in San Diego County, and this is the second installment of my E4D PlanScan video channel. Today I'm going to talk about protocols for staining and glazing eMax CAD restorations. And in my next installment, I'm going to make some comments about the durability of these extrinsically placed stains. Before we get started, it's important that we define our terms, since the eMax brand includes 3 distinct chemical materials, and within that some come in a variety of forms, such as ingots for pressing, blocks for milling, and powders for layering and fusing. In this discussion, we're talking about eMax CAD, which are blocks of lithium metasilicate that are milled and then crystallized to lithium disilicate. eMax CAD comes with its associated glazes, stains, and add-on material. The other material we'll be talking about briefly is eMax Ceram, which is a nanofluorapatite glass ceramic that comes in a powdered form for layering and fusing. eMax Ceram comes with its associated eMax Ceram stains, glazes, and add-on material. The other distinction I'd like to make is that in the Ivoclar catalog, under Colorants, it describes shades, which are colorants that match specific shade guides, and stains, which are colorants that match specific colors, such as blue, yellow, and red. For the purpose of this discussion, I'm just going to call them all stains. The Ivoclar literature for eMax is extensive and really well written. And when you wade through all this, you realize there's essentially 2 protocols with several sub-options. I'm going to throw in a third protocol, and then I'm going to distill this all down to just 2 distinct protocols. One for maximizing the efficiency of processing eMax CAD, and the other one for maximizing its aesthetic potential. The first protocol is the one we learn in the Essentials course, where we stain, glaze, and crystallize all in one bake. The variations on this is to use either glazing paste or glazing spray. I don't find much use for glazing spray. It suggests that I'm trying to preserve my stain by not diffusing it with a paste. But since I'm painting on a blue canvas, I'm probably not going to get an exquisite result, so I'm not sure what it is I'm really trying to preserve. Secondly, glazing spray is very expensive, and maybe it's my level of skill, but I find a fair amount of it ends up on the floor or on the bench. So my preference is to use glazing paste, follow it with a stain, and then fire and crystallize it all in one bake. Another variation on this protocol that Ivoclar presents in its literature is to crystallize your restoration with no stain or glaze, and then to add eMax CAD stains in multiple firings if necessary until you get the color you want, and then finish it with eMax CAD glaze. I don't find much use for this protocol. I think the diversity of eMax CAD stain is pretty limited. And also, if I'm committing myself to multiple firings for the sake of aesthetics, I think there's other protocols that are more useful for this. So to distill this all down, the most efficient way to process this material is to add your eMax CAD glazing paste and then stain it and then fire it, crystallize it all in one bake. When you get your result, if you need to modify your color or your contacts, you can do that under your eMax CAD correction firing program in your oven. But remember, eMax CAD is only crystallized one time. Another technique that Ivoclar presents involves using eMax Ceram stains. This seems like a good method, but for a variety of reasons I choose not to use it. So if you want to find out about it, you can go online and check it out. Now in the Ivoclar literature, one thing that you'll notice is that they distinctly discourage the use of Empress stains and glazes on eMax CAD. But for our second protocol, where we maximize the aesthetic potential of this material, that's exactly what I'm going to tell you you can do. Now I was hesitant to talk about this because Ivoclar doesn't endorse it, but the 2 world-class ceramists that taught me this technique assured me that in some commercial labs, this is done on a regular basis. Additionally, in my office, after doing approximately 90 cases with the first protocol, I've done approximately 350 cases using this second protocol, and I've seen no change in what is already an impressively low post-cementation failure rate. Under this protocol, you crystallize your restoration with no stain or glaze, and then you paint it with your Empress stain, multiple bakes if necessary, until you achieve the color you want, and then you finish it with Empress glaze. When you take it to the mouth, if you need to make some changes, you can continue staining and glazing with your Empress material. All this is done under your Empress CAD shade glaze program in your oven. Now then, and only when you're completely done using Empress material, if you need to add a contact, you use eMax Ceram add-on material and eMax CAD crystal add-on liquid all around. This bake is done under your eMax Ceram add-on glaze program in your oven. Once you've done this, you do not go back to your Empress materials. This follows a typical ceramic firing protocol of descending high temperatures. Now, this is a great protocol because the Empress stains are really beautifully diverse. For me personally, I've been using them for 20 years, so I don't have to learn a new system. They all come as a paste, and it's also very flexible because now you have a material that you can use both for eMax, CAD, and for Empress if you're still doing Empress. Now, I'm not a researcher, but I've done a few measurements using a micrometer, and one thing I've found is that a lone layer of Empress glaze adds about 10 microns of material overlaying your stain. It's something that I've been doing lately in my interior restorations where I want to really try to do the most I can to preserve my colors. I'm layering another layer at the very end using eMax Ceram Glaze under the eMax Ceram Glaze add-on firing program in my oven. Doing this by my measurements adds another 18 to 20 microns of protective layering over my staining material. So I just thought I'd throw that out there, and it's something that you might want to consider to help improve the durability of your staining materials. So by using this second protocol, we should consistently get results that are good. And we should very often get results that are excellent. And then there's times when I bring a restoration to the mouth and I ask myself, what were you thinking? But staining and glazing is a craft that I'm constantly learning. And after all, we're not paid well to do things that are easy. So I hope there's some things that I've told you today that are helpful. In our next segment, we'll talk about the durability of these extrinsically placed stains. So until next time, I hope you thrive in your practice.